All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we are jumping right into a really important topic, CPT codes for concierge telehealth billing. We're going to take all that complexity and make it super clear for your practice.
So let's just get right to it. This is the big question, right? If you're running a hybrid model, a concierge practice that also deals with insurance, how on earth do you navigate that billing puzzle? It's a huge challenge for a lot of folks.
And yeah, that unique structure, that's really the heart of the challenge. It means you have to be super smart about your CPT coding.
So here's the absolute core of the issue. You've got your membership fees on one side, and then you have these billable insurance reimbursed encounters on the other. You have to draw a bright, clear line between what's covered by the membership and what you can actually bill to a payer. Seriously, getting this right, it's everything. It's the whole foundation.
And this really breaks it down nicely. You've got these two distinct buckets in your practice. On one hand, the direct pay services, all the amazing perks covered by that membership fee. And on the other, the specific telehealth encounters that you can and should submit to insurance. Making sure everyone knows which is which, that is absolutely fundamental. Okay, so how do we actually do that? How do we manage this split? Well, it all starts with the basics. We're talking about the foundational CPT codes. Think of these as the absolute bedrock of your whole telehealth billing strategy.
First up, let's talk about asynchronous stuff. You know all that back and forth that isn't a live call? We're talking secure messaging, portal communication, that kind of thing. Codes 99421, 99422, and 99423 are your friends here. They let you bill for your cumulative time over a 7-day period. So all that work you're already doing, you can get paid for it.
All right, next up, good old-fashioned telephone calls. When a video call is overkill? Codes 99441 through 99443 are specifically for those audio-only consults or follow-ups with your established patients. The code you use just depends on how long you talk. Super handy for those quick check-ins. Now for the main event, real-time video visits. The good news is you're going to use the standard EM codes you already know, like 99201 to 99215. But, and this is a big but, you have to tell the insurance company it was a virtual visit. You do that by either tacking on the GT modifier or using O2 for the place of service code. It's a simple step, but it's absolutely crucial.
Okay, we've got the foundation down. Now let's move on to the really exciting part. This is where we go beyond the basics and look at some major opportunities, not just for billing, but for seriously enhancing patient care and building that all-important recurring revenue.
And remote patient monitoring, or RPM, is a perfect example of this. It just fits the whole concierge philosophy so well, right? You're providing this amazing, proactive, continuous care for your patients, and you're also creating a steady, predictable revenue stream for your practice. It is the definition of a win-win. So how does billing for RPM work? It's actually a pretty straightforward step-by-step process. You start with 99453. That's for setting up the device and teaching the patient how to use it. Then you've got 99454 for the monthly monitoring, basically the device sending you data. And finally, 99457 covers the first 20 minutes your staff spends actually reviewing that data each month. See? Simple.
And in that same vein, we have chronic care management, or CCM. Think about all that behind-the-scenes work your team does for patients with multiple chronic conditions. All that coordination, the phone calls, the planning. CCM codes let you bill for that essential non-face-to-face work. It's about finally capturing the value of that critical care coordination.
And the main code you're going to want to know here is 99490. This one covers the first 20 minutes of your clinical staff's time each month on all those CCM activities. It's really the workhorse code for managing your patients who have 2 or more chronic conditions. Okay, so we know the codes. Great. But knowing the codes is really only half the battle, isn't it? Now we have to get real. Let's talk about the practical stuff, documentation, and dealing with payers.
Let me be super clear about this. Your documentation has to be meticulous. It is completely non-negotiable. Every single time, your records have to show that you got patient consent for telehealth, where you were physically located, where the patient was, and of course, the total time you spent on the encounter. You can't skip any of these.
So when you put it all together, your practice's revenue mix starts to look something like this. You've got that solid base from your direct pay memberships. Then you have the slice from your billable EM encounters. And then you have these really important growing slices from things like RPM, CCM, and other special consults. The big takeaway here, diversification is your friend. And here's another reality check. You cannot assume all payers play by the same rules. They don't. Medicare, commercial plans, Medicaid, they all have their own quirks and requirements for telehealth reimbursement. And these rules are changing all the time. So you absolutely have to stay on top of the specific policies for every single payer you work with. What flies with one might get you a denial from another. All right, let's wrap up by looking to the future. Because, let's be honest, the world of telehealth billing is not standing still. It's changing incredibly fast, and being prepared is the name of the game.
One big thing on the horizon, AI integration. As AI tools get more and more involved in diagnostics and helping with treatment plans, you can bet we're going to see new codes and requirements to document when and how you're using them.
And what about all that amazing wearable technology? The data we're getting from these devices is getting so sophisticated, it's pretty likely we'll see new CPT codes designed specifically to capture the value of analyzing all that continuous data. And finally, interstate practice. This is a big one. As telehealth makes it easier to see patients across state lines, our coding and documentation will have to evolve to handle all the complexities of multi-state licensing and different state regulations. It's going to be a whole new challenge.
And this really brings it all home. The takeaway here is that getting a handle on these codes, really mastering them, isn't just some administrative task for today. It's about building a rock-solid foundation for the future of your practice, whatever that future holds.
So, we'll leave you with this question to think about. Is your billing strategy truly ready for the future of virtual care? Because by really digging in and understanding these codes, you're not just making sure you're compliant and profitable today, you're making sure your practice is ready and resilient for whatever comes next.